bad matchup. We thought up front. I think we were a little outmatched. I think their power game and their counter game and their toss sweep schemes. We knew we'd struggle with that. But it was. He made plays. If you go back and watch the game, we're actually in really good position. He's just 6'7". He's a giant, and he's incredibly athletic. He goes up and over Sante Brown, one of our linebackers, and makes a heck of a catch. Darius Phillips is in his face one time. He still makes the catch. So it wasn't necessarily a bad scheme. It was just their player was better than our players were in our scheme on that particular day. He's a phenomenal football player. Phenomenal. So, yeah, I've already thought about how we're going to be able to defend him. He's one of those forces to be reckoned with. He's a wonderful player.
Spoke about
Who did that? I'm sorry? Oh, okay, yeah.
How do you compare him now?
Yeah, I wish he was a freshman again. I will say this, he's a very stoic individual. He doesn't have a lot to say, but when he does say it, people listen. I think if you ask him, I think he's really learned a lot about leadership. He's one of those seniors you talked about, having 3 head coaches in 3 years. That's hard. And when we got here, yes, he knew me, but I was like, I got to do this again, right? And now I have another direction. I have another vision. And now all of a sudden I got all this gopher talk too. Holy cow. And obviously Steven's personality and my personality are completely opposite. So again, for Steven, I think it took a little bit longer, but our relationship got better and better and better because Steven's about trust. He wants to be able to trust you. He wants to know that you are for real. He wants to know that you can help him become better in all areas of his life. And I give him credit for that. Our relationship's very strong. He's a wonderful person, and he's going to anchor our defensive line. And I'm glad we have him for at least 5 more months.
You mentioned a couple times 3 coaches in 3 years. The first one was Jerry Hill, who coincidentally you worked for a decade ago. What did you learn from him? What do you remember about those times with Jerry? What's his, what do people think about him still in Denver?
Yeah, I don't really know what other people think about him. I never really listened to all that, but Jerry always taught me how to care for the players. I was a caring individual before, but to watch Jerry truly care for people was really inspiring. So, and that means all the time, not just when you're on, just all the time. That's what I learned from him. Well, I think as a head football coach, you're especially at a place that hasn't won a championship in 50 years, you've got to be able to. You just have to do things a little different. And for me to be out there, I'm a new head football coach. My personality might be a little different than some, so I think people want to attract to that. There's a lot more things to probably write about, so I think I get a little bit more of the coverage maybe than what some people are used to. But at the end of the day, it's all about Minnesota. It's not about me, and I make sure our team understands that too. But I also, as the face of the program, have to bring national attention somehow, some way, to all of us. And if it's an avenue through me into all of us as a team, that's what we're going to do. And just because we're having the attention, that does not equal and promise success, right, in terms of wins and losses. But what it does is, it does promise that the culture is going to continue to go the way we want it to go. And when we're ready to win championships, that will happen. There's a step-by-step process that we believe in that has to be able to happen. But that can happen any year. But I've watched great coaches get fired for 10 wins. I've watched great coaches get fired for 9 wins. Eventually, we were 12-0 at Western Michigan. If we would have lost the MAC championship, you would have seen all the emails and said, "Oh, this season's a complete failure. I told you couldn't win a championship." So the numbers don't matter. It's the program, it's the culture, continuing to take the next right step when we're ready to do it, and not foresee it.
You referenced Greg Schiano this morning. The 2 years at Rutgers, what did you pick up from him?
He's meticulous, he's organized, and he's one of the most demanding men I've ever met. He got me to do things I never thought I could even do myself. And that takes a lot for a coach to bring that out of you. I'd like to think he maybe saw something in me that he knew I was going to be a head football coach. Because if I didn't work for Greg Schiano, I would have never been able to be a head football coach at that moment, at the time I did. Greg got me ready to become a head football coach. Yeah, see, I don't see. I think that's what the perception is of the Twin Cities. I don't believe in it. I believe that that's an advantage. We're not here to compete with each other or against each other. We're here to compete with each other, right? And that's about connecting. So I've got a chance to know Coach Molitor with the Twins, and the minute Coach Molitor talks about, if it happens, let's say I start talking about Coach Molitor today. Well, Coach Molitor, the Twins fans, hey, I'm a fan of the Gophers. I've never really liked the Twins, but you know what? I'm a fan of Coach Fleck, and he likes Coach Molitor. I'm going to check out a Twins game. Coach Molitor talks about our program and the Gophers and the football program and rowing the boat, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they might not love football, but all of a sudden now the Twins fans say, I'm going to go actually check that guy out. I like Coach Molitor, and he believes in the guy. I'm going to go check it out. And all of a sudden, we create this 3.5 million people force. The 5.5 million people in our state that we are Minnesota. It's not Minneapolis this and St. Paul this. It is Minnesota Wild, Minnesota Vikings, Minnesota Timberwolves, Minnesota Twins, Minnesota Lynx, so on and so forth. Minnesota Golden Gophers. We are together in this, and I think we have to start looking at it that way. So I'm here to do whatever I can to connect all of our sports teams, to make it that powerful force. Because can you imagine when the Twins win the World Series? Okay, the Timberwolves, who are young, we just got Jimmy Butler now, right? And they win the NBA Finals, right? They're able to win an NBA championship. The Wild get over the Chicago hump, and we win, right? The Stanley Cup, right? And you can go on out, Vikings, right? They win a Super Bowl, and then the Gophers win a Big Ten championship. Can you imagine what the city would look like? Can you imagine that, right? Now, that is why I came here. Because yes, I know people are like, that'll never happen. But that's why I came, and that's why our staff came. That's why we picked Minnesota, because it has the ability to do that instead of just a school that has nothing else around it. I love that, and I love that our players can walk a half a mile across the river or a mile and a half across the river, go watch a Twins game and stuff. If you're ever bored in our Twin Cities, there's a problem, and that's what I love about the college athletes that come, student athletes that come to Minnesota.
Hey, TJ.